Hey there. So this is Ryan. Wanted to do some lessons learned from my fight. I've seen some other friends from the U.S. Doing something similar, breaking down for the camera, what they did well, what they didn't do well in a fight, and I think it is important to um, analyze yourself and uh, really give yourself something real to take away from each fight more than just like a general feeling of I did well, I didn't do well. So what I wanted to do is take a look at the big picture things that I need to work on, and then break it down into some smaller pieces. So yeah, second fight at Superchamp against Musurdam. Um, he was a good, skilled fighter. But he was beatable if I had done certain things differently and more effectively. So he was pretty traditional style. His kicks were great, and he established his kick range really well. And then once he had me hurt with kicks, he felt safe enough to move in and try and cause more damage. Um, so when you come to Thailand to train and you have a background from the U.S., you get a lot of your training focuses on your weaknesses. So, for instance, for me, like my trainers just have me kick a ton, kick, 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 uh, and and then when you get to a fight, um, you get lots of different voices coming at you with instruction, what to do, what you have to do to win. And so the different voices aren't always on the same page, and so you don't always maybe choose the right one, or you don't get the overall message. Try as you might. But basically, Musurdam was just kicking the shit out of me at kick range, and what I needed to do was get inside of his kick range where my weapons are more effective. Um, my knees, elbows, punches, uh, even here is body kick range. Here's where I can low kick, punch, knee, elbow, and so on. But what happened is, he started right away kicking hard, and that, taking that on the arm, taking that on the body made me be sort of freeze a little bit, like, oh shit. And so it's one of those things about fighting, going towards that discomfort. Same thing with like um, your cardio. Whenever you're tired, you tend to want to like back off so you can breathe. But the way you win a fight is you're both tired. The guy who can trust that he's not going to just pass out and can keep going can then overwhelm this other person who's also tired, take their heart, and have them sort of give up more ground. They get more tired. They take more of a beating. So same thing with your weapons. If I stand at this kick range and just get kicked a lot, his confidence boosts up. Um, but if I can go like, yeah, this hurts, but I can get past it, it hurts less. If I can get past it more, I start touching him. Like you see me do, I hit him with an elbow that like I heard his nose go crunch, and his eyes were like, oh, and I was like, okay. So then I kind of let him know that I could hurt him too, and then he wasn't so quick to kick the crap out of me, and then but then he's good and experienced. So after he gathered himself, he got back to it, and he's like, all right, yeah, you got me, but I'm still gonna keep smashing you. Same thing happened. My low kicks were effective, and I had him like sort of go, oh, and start to not put weight on that front leg. But he was able to gather himself and say like, yeah, I'm damaged, but I'm still hurting you too. And so he'd go back to his kick. Whereas I needed to constantly close ground, I'd sort of score, back up, get hit by his kick, get in, break down that distance again, get him with something good, but then give up ground, get back to where he's good, get kicked again, and then work back in, you know. So basically, I'd score a point, give it back, and make him feel good, you know, because he's, you know, doing damage. Whereas I get in, maybe do a little bit of damage, but then I back out where I need to go. Damage, 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 and push, 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 push. It's hard to do when you're hurting, you know. Like my arm was getting beat. He kicked me really good in the body early on, and that was the one that kind of like let me know, like, oh, I'm in here with a real kicker. So the big overall lesson is spacing and closing the space. The other big lesson is when you come out here, depending on what gym you end up at, you can start to have sort of a style identity crisis. So, you know, I've always been a good knee fighter, puncher, low kicker, things like that, but my weakness is my body kick. And so, you know, I've been here over a year, and I have to do a lot of body kicks. Now, that doesn't mean that my gym necessarily wants me to go in and fight and be a body kicker. It's just not possible when you're fighting 20-year-olds who've been doing this since they were little. Their middle kicks are very, very good, and they're fast. And my middle kick is just never going to be able to match that. So I have to go with what I'm good at. And you don't always, you know, you're trying to do what your corner, what the coaches, or what you feel they want you to do. They just want you to win. So you kind of have to take it upon yourself to figure out, like, what your identity is, what your style is, and you got to go with that. And I kind of flirted with that this fight, but I didn't go all in with it. Similar last fight, and it's just something that's actually been going on in my head for a while, is like, do I need to be at a gym that's more Muay Thai style, or do I just need to take it upon myself to be Muay Thai, but you know, but still practicing all the other weak points that they have me practice at the gym and during training. So even though they have me kicking a lot, doesn't mean that in fights I need to do middle kicks a lot. It means I need to be the Muay Thai that I am, and you know, maybe down the road my kicks get respectable too. So the places where I had success in this fight were whenever I'd break that distance down and get to where I could knee, where I could elbow, where I could punch. But the further I stayed away, where I was on the end of his power kick, is the worse I did. And that's because it's not my style. I didn't grow up checking kicks, you know, for years and years, so I'm not good at checking them. I just end up eating those kicks, which is natural for, you know, an American who, you know, we just, you know, we don't check kicks as easily. Like when you grow up from a youth doing it, little cues in body language let them know when that kick is coming, and they can intercept it very easily. Whereas someone like me, I'm gonna be a step slow every time. So my best option, you know, I need to still work on my checks all the time, try and get them better. And you see, I did check a few kicks in the fight, but I ate a ton. It's the times where I did better were whenever I got past his kick range, and you know, I could see it, and you can see it on the video. He'd kick, but since I wasn't on the end of the power, it would just sort of fall flat. It wasn't a kick that would hurt me. And what I had is him off balance and in range for my knees, in range for my punches, where I could build combos. So it's just interesting to think about and to note, and to I'll put in my, you know, work basket for things that I'm working on. So that's style identity crisis slash we know what style I need to be, so I need to just move towards that and own it. And I think that way I'll have weapons that I'm confident in, and can do that move forward. So those are two big pieces. I didn't expect this video to go over 10 minutes, but some of the smaller pieces I wanted to talk about because it's interesting, and I think my teammates or students back home, we get taught things that are rules, but we don't always get explained why in the States. And then even here, I've been here, the rules come up, but you don't necessarily know why until you get hit with them. For example, the cut. So one thing you can also do as a smaller piece is reverse engineer like what hurts after a fight. So and see why. So one thing is like we can see my shin. Both of my shins are screwed, but can't really see it on the video. But so I can reverse engineer this. My right shin. Why does it hurt? Well, you'll see in the video by the second or third round, he's checking most of my low kicks, or he's checking half of them, and I'm throwing the shit out. It hurts because I'm kicking his knee. And why is that happening? It's because, of course he knows it's coming. He knows that I know he's damaged from it, and he kind of knows that that's my last resort of getting him to where I can win this fight, is to if I can get him to give up from leg kicks. So he knows it's coming. What I don't do is set up the kick. I'm just chucking the low kick without enough punching or any sort of combination to set it up. It's a shame because that's a place where I excel. If I had gone jab, cross, hook, low kick, I'd have a lot greater chance of landing more of those. I did a little bit of it, and some combos that have just been in my basket for a long time. Overhand with the right, and then you just throw the low kick right after it. That I landed. But yeah, had I committed more to setting up the low kick with my hands, I probably would have had more luck with punches and the low kick. Could have scored more points, maybe damaged him more, made it a little bit more even. So that's why that shin hurts. That's a reverse engineer of that. My left shin is destroyed too. That's from the few kicks that I did check, and so it's good in a way because I know that I'm capable of checking the kick, and it's just when you face somebody like that with that really hard right kick, he didn't care. He'll kick through bone, and it didn't hurt him. So. But it's good. I think also I probably need to adjust where I'm catching his shin on my shin. So a little bit of a different angle might change how much pain I feel on checking the kick. What else? This arm is ballooned up like a football because I got kicked so much here. So you reverse engineer that. Why does my arm hurt so much from getting, why am I getting kicked so much in the arm? It's because I don't check enough with my shin, It's a lot better to have a fight where your left shin hurts than your left arm, because what happens is, of course this can break, but what it does is he deadens the nerves here. By the third round, I couldn't really lift my arm. It leaves a big chance for me to get kicked in the fucking head. So that's that's why you got to have a better check. You can't just take these on the arm, even with this. some fights you get lucky and the guys don't kick like a mule, and then you can kind of get away with it. But a lot of these guys can kick like a mule. So, you know, it's one of those unfortunate things. But yeah, you want both of your arms to be with you when you're fighting. So I gotta get better at checking. I gotta get better at not just standing there and getting kicked. If I know it's coming and I know that my checks aren't that great, I need to step off that power. I've learned that since I started Muay Thai. You step off the power of the kick. Traditional Muay Thai, they want you to stand there, bang, and try to not get moved by stuff. But if you're getting kicked in the arm, that's damage, that's scoring. So if I'm not checking it with my shin where it shows no effect, then it's going to score. So if I'm going to lose the point anyway, I need to get off of the power and try to get a low kick. Get off of the power, try to throw my straight right. Get off the power, step in knee. So that's a good one there. Finally, reverse engineer the cut. And this is a good one to know because you don't learn the long guard too much in the U.S. Let's see if I can get it. Basically this or this. Well, we do a lot of boxing, Western style boxing guard in the U.S. Thailand, it's not one or the other. In a fight, there's going to be transitions in between the different types of guards. Sometimes you will just boom here. Sometimes you'll be long. You gotta have them all. And the reason I got this is you can't do the shell when you're on the rope. When you're on the rope, you know that the elbow is coming, basically. If you're stuck, you can't get out of the way of it. That's when the hardest hits are coming. That's when they're trying to measure you with the hands. So if you choose to do the Western thing, try to protect from a hook or whatever, you can bet that's coming. So it's better to do long guard when you're on the rope. I can deflect, I can see, I can protect my chin. I have more weapons to get this motherfucker off of me when I'm, on the rope. But if you try to just duck under those gloves, you're getting your fucking head split open. So, yeah, you got to be cognizant of when you're using which guard. You got to be cognizant of when your back touches the rope, to be expecting something's coming. So, it's okay. Also, you're gonna get cut. Guys are gonna throw good shots that land. So it's okay. It's just for next time, it'd be better to just bury my chin and be able to see, maybe partially deflect, not get hit square with that huge elbow. Because now I got a bunch of stitches in my head. I gotta wait for them to heal. It hurts. So that's that. So yeah, that's a 20-minute breakdown of my fight. If no one else watches it, at least I'll have this for myself. I can rewatch and try to keep learning. Some good takeaways from this fight were trained my ass off for it. Like my two trainers at PK really pushed me hard. I did let's see, my cardio is great. It's always been in most of my fights, but here, it's fine. I need to probably start taking advantage of it, meaning pushing harder, trying to, because this other guy wasn't that fit. It'd been nice if I had made him work a little bit harder, because he's able to, steal breath, and he can fire when he wants, and then he knows he can get a rest because I'm not pushing him hard enough. So need to start using that to my advantage. My mentality is pretty good. Like, I'm not crazy nervous before fights. I'm happy to be there. I'm confident in myself. I think I do need a little bit of a mentality shift. I need to be more forwardly marching aggressive. I need to accept the fact that things are going to hurt and not stand in a spot that's going to make it keep hurting. Go towards that pain more, and try to inflict more damage of my own. So that's like my mentality's good, but it can be better. So I'll be like looking forward to changing that. And I think if I take on the style of the Muay Thai that I'm more comfortable with, that I think is a better fit for Westerners in general, unless they just happen to be amazingly technical. Someone like me needs to march forward and get to where I can knee and elbow and punch and do things that will hurt somebody. Let's see, my weight cut went well. Diet went well. I wasn't starving the last few weeks. You have a little bit of a good dip in power in training for a while, but that's because I'm hitting pads hard twice a day, doing a ton of running. Like, it's natural. But by fight day, felt great. And even last week on pads, had some really good sessions where I was like, all right, there's still a good bit in this tank. And then I cut the weight, and the weight comes off within an hour in the sauna, and then the refueling is fine, and so I like that. So yeah, just try to not get disheartened. I'm fighting good guys. That's another thing, is my opponents aren't tuk-tuk drivers. They're guys with legit skill, legit reputations even. Like, I tell people I was fighting Musurdam, and they know Musurdam. So I knew it'd be a tough fight, and I hung with him. I got to a decision, and I gave him some things that hurt him. So that's good. And just gotta keep fighting and keep training hard, and bound to pick up some wins eventually. So it's all good. And yeah, at the end of the day, I'm here doing what I came here to do, and I'm doing it on probably a level that maybe I didn't even think I could before I came here. So just climbing up the little steps, and I'll keep doing that and keep trying to learn and get as good as possible. Maybe we'll do a video checking these out in a little while. Been too afraid to take a look at what's under there yet. I'm not sure how many stitches I ended up with. Still pretty raw. I'm trying to wait a couple days so maybe it won't burn or hurt too bad whenever I clean it. But we'll see. Anyway, that's all for now. Thanks for watching. Thanks to myself, future Ryan, for watching yourself. Might be the only one. But anyway, thank you. And if you have questions or anything, let me know. Thanks.